a sexy fucking intro.
I'm never going to get sick of it.
No.
And we say that knowing full well now that this is going to be a podcast as well, like later on. But the people that are only listening to the podcasts have heard that the entire series. But watch a live stream one day.
That's right. Go back and check it out. It's awesome. So episode 53.
Welcome. As you guys and gals all notice, we have Brandon and Drew on today. No Jordan. We figured, the more guests, the better when we're talking about, a festival or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like we have not done this in months.
Yeah, I was thinking about that before we started up the show. I was sitting down, getting my beer together, and the last real stream that we had was 1 week before MHF. So it was probably 3 weeks ago, maybe? Something like that. I don't think we did one the week of MHF, so I think it was the week before.
No, we were getting ready.
No,
we
took
MHF
the week after off too.
Yeah. We needed the week after off. I'm still not sure I've recovered from it yet, but yeah, no, it's been a while. It's been a while. We did go live from NHF. We got to broadcast the Michigan Beer Cup award ceremony, which I think went really well. If you haven't checked that out, it's on our stream on our YouTube. Gets to highlight all the cool home brewers that won awards this year, including the coolest motherfucking homebrew club in Michigan.
Who is that?
Hold on. Keeper's Craft.
Oh man, what a great club! That sounds like a great group of brewers.
Yeah. If I wasn't already a member, I'd join.
Damn it. Me too.
Same.
I put that up there just so I could grab it for this. I've got to remember to take it to the meeting. And the Bell's Homebrew Competition Expo, I'm going to hook it to a necklace and just wear it around when I go out to homebrew events in the area.
Oh,
we'll
that's good.
Pass it around.
Bring the trophy too.
That's what I meant. No, I'm going to...
You make a hat out of it? Oh, that. Yeah.
I'm going to, a Flavor Flav it. Wear it around our neck. We'll just pass it around. Everybody can wear it. It'll be cool. So.
What are you drinking tonight?
I just cracked the gold medal Mexican lager brewed by Greg Tupper out of Battle Creek. He is part of the
Suds?
Totally club. Yeah,
Suds.
He's a part of Suds and an honorary part of Keepers of Craft. He dropped this off to me, so this is the beer that won gold in that lager category. So that's what I'm going to tuck into here real quick. Thank you, Greg. Got a couple more great beers to drink later. So,
what about you, Brandon?
I actually, I had some other beers, but I was digging through the garage fridge and I had an Odd Side Oktoberfest from last year,
Oh shit!
which it aged really well, actually. So
Okay.
that's the first one.
I'm kind of jealous. I don't have any Oktoberfest right now, and it's all obviously coming out. We had the August Fest episode before we left, and yeah, just kind of crushed through all mine. I've been meaning to make one. Maybe that'll be my next beer now.
Good choice.
How about you, Drew? Got some Doster Brewing beer up?
Yeah. This is the
Das
rye. The Das Boot. See, I'm feeling the Oktoberfest here. This is my Mosaic Enigma Rye IPA, which, as we remember, was, I think, the first keg to get kicked out at Michigan Homebrew Fest at our bar. But I made a 15-gallon batch. I gave my dad 5, and then I kept 5 for myself. So,
Nice.
But it was fun bringing an empty keg home from that event, I'll say. It's kind of a hard thing to do when we had how many taps on?
Oh my god!
35.
Yeah, we had 35 taps. Probably close to 50 kegs. I never officially got a count, but I'm sure that we had at least 10, if not 15, kegs sitting in the wings.
We had so many that you specifically, Jason, went around to other homebrew clubs and asked to celebrity tap our kegs, and most agreed. So yeah, I mean, we had not only 35 on ourselves, but like one keg on at like 75% of the other clubs too, maybe 50.
Not that many, but
Okay.
probably like 30% of the other clubs. I think we guest tapped at 5 different clubs, spanning 7 different taps or 7 different kegs. So yeah, that was fun. And yeah, everybody was cool. Everybody that I asked, if they had a tap available, they said yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we were on it. Shout out to Black River Homebrew Club, Cass Homebrew Club. Snobs had a keg on. Michigan Meat Coalition had a keg on. There's one more. I can't remember now. It's all a blur. That's what Homebrew Fest is. But yeah, we had we were out there sharing the wealth of Keeper's beer that we had. I mean, a whole pickup truck full of beer that I got to haul out there. It was super fun.
Spreaded our homebrew seed.
Yeah. That's a way to put it.
Spreading the love. Drew, I think you should make, I just was thinking, I'm sure it's been done before, but like a Rye-toberfest.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, my next beer is going to be the good old Bell's Oktoberfest. So,
dang, I'm jealous of you guys now.
Yeah, one of my favorite times of year right here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just finished one. Probably going to circle back to it if I get through these Mexican lagers, which it's been a hell of a week. So I'm going to get through these Mexican lagers. It's only Monday.
I'm probably about a third of the way down on my my Bell's homebrew keg. Now I just keep drinking it. So that's what I got going on tonight. I kind of a heavily hopped New World Saison. So we'll see how that does. I'll have to have you guys try it before Bell's. The phenolics are pretty light. Shayna says, she kind of gets some plasticky taste out of it. I don't, so I don't know whether that's whether she's like sensitive to the phenolics or not, because I need somebody else's opinion too. I trust her more than anybody else, but
remind us what phenolics are, Brian. What they taste like.
So, anything on the more rubbery, plasticky side of the taste spectrum, like peppery, like those sort of flavors, almost like I pick them out and I say it's more of like it's bitter, but as like a different sort of flavor, like plastic with a flavor or something, but not necessarily always bad. Like there's really bad phenolics like chlorophenols, which can taste like Band-Aids and like nasty like medicines and stuff like that. And then there's more of like dull, restrained, refined, good phenols that can be more of like peppery and
clove, banana,
clove. Yeah. I think banana's more like an ester, I think, right? Yeah.
You would expect a degree of that in a saison anyway, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But different yeasts are very picky and stuff like that, and if you ferment a warmer, sometimes the phenols will come out in different aspects. Technically, lower fermentation temperatures are supposed to have more phenols, and higher temperatures are supposed to have more esters in these yeasts, but who knows? I think I just let this one free roam. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to have you guys try it.
Yeah.
I think it came out to be so it's super dry, but I used rye in it, so it has a little bit of body. But it's also, I think, 8.5% or something. So
nice.
This is the rye episode, I guess.
Yeah, apparently.
What'd you put in for Bell's Homebrew, Brandon?
Ooh. Well, I need to bottle it up this week so I don't forget to turn it in by Friday. But did a rye. Well, rye. Geez, now I'm stuck on the rye. There's a little bit of rye in it, but I wouldn't really call it a rye beer. I did a cherry lime tart, is what I'm calling it. But
Nice.
so it's interesting. I'm interested to see if Bells will love or hate it. But how about you guys, other than Brian?
Well, Doster Brewing is a professional brewer now, right?
Yeah, no entry for me this year.
Did not participate.
Ooh.
Technically, you can as long as you make your stuff on a homebrew system, right?
I was going to say you can.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm also really busy just trying to get the doors open too. So,
Right on.
Yeah.
but I like trying your guys's.
Yeah, so I went with a cherry flavored IPA using all Michigan copper hops. I'm trying to stick with this Michigan theme, so I got some Michigan copper hops. Of course, Bell's Wort was all Michigan malts, and then I got local Michigan tart cherries and put it together. I tasted it today. It's in the keg carbonating right now, and I like it. It's cherry. I think maybe the cherry kind of overpowered the hops. I mean, but it's cherry and it's hoppy. It's an IPA. It's one that I actually really like. So that means it's going to fail miserably. So anytime.
If you're watching the show and you're judging the Bell's homebrew competition this year, just forget that you heard any of this, I guess.
Right. I've said it before, though. Anytime I brew a beer that I like, it seems to do poorly. Anytime I brew, like, the beers that I hate seem to be the ones that do well. So I just can't. I'm not a taster. So.
You need to start designing your recipes with that in mind. Like, oh my God, like the worst, like smokiest, nastiest beer you could possibly make, and just like run away with like NHC smoked beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Killing it with the best smoked beer in the world. And I fucking want to vomit every time I taste it.
Like, Fruity Pebbles or something. Put that in there. I mean, who does that?
Who was I talking to about that the other day? I was saying, didn't you try to brew Looper without Fruit Loops once, and it just didn't
Fruit
do well?
Loops. That's right.
It wasn't the same. I felt dirty for even doing it and calling it Looper. And yeah, it was so it was actually the batch that got submitted in COVID, so it got made into hand sanitizer anyway. So I guess it's not that it didn't do well. It just.
I tasted it though, and it didn't taste. It didn't taste the same. So yeah.
It didn't. It really didn't. It didn't taste the same. It wasn't the same beer. So the next time I brewed it, back with a full family size box of Fruit Loops, and it took gold this year at Michigan Beer Cup. It went to final table at NHC, and I believe it did well at Michigan State Fair. So. Get your Fruit Loops, kids. Man. Brew a cereal.
TBD. Speaking of, in case you didn't see our post, we will be live streaming the awards ceremony at the Michigan State Fair on Friday as well. I think we posted. Oh, I thought you said you were going to post. Okay. Well, we haven't posted yet, so
you heard it here first.
Heads up, you heard it for yeah. So yeah, that's super cool of them. I don't know how Jason swung that, but.
So I've been in contact with Blair Bowman Jr. He is the organizer of the Michigan State Fair homebrew competition. I just reached out to him and said, hey, we just did this with Michigan Beer Cup. Seemed to work. The video was good. The audio was good. And so, yeah, we are, he said we were good to go. We're going to live stream. That's going to be awards, I believe, are this Friday, September 3rd at 5:30. So I'll get a post up tonight. We'll get that sent over to Blair. Hopefully he'll share that with the Michigan State Fair group.
Is it that late? I thought it was 4:30.
I will double check it now since you said that, but I thought it was 5:30.
Okay. No,
Uno momento. But yes, David, we should totally, absolutely live stream the Bell's Homebrew competition Ian is probably not watching, but one of us will reach out to him and see if we can do that. I think that would be awesome. So totally agree. So we have a new thing: Michigan Brews streams homebrew competitions.
Yeah,
award ceremony.
I mean, it's good if we have to pick out like a niche or something like that. I just checked my email. It is 4:30. So you double check yours. Make sure we didn't get separate emails, because that's happened before too.
I was going to say, okay, so we were going up to, it was Glint Cap, right?
Yeah, it was.
And Brian had an email that basically said, drop off your cider whenever the hell you want. And I had an email that said, you must drop off your cider only on Thursday, the whatever. And it's the only time that you can do
between 4 and 8.
Yeah, between 4 and 8. It's like very specific. Yeah, so that was.
So we almost went up there looking like assholes. But I'm glad we picked the day that we did. We met some friends that night. We will hopefully have one of the cider make. Actually, well, probably a couple people from that day on eventually here, probably maybe in September.
Yeah, no, we need to reach out to him. So we got to hang out with the owner and cider maker at Puck Cider, Chris. I'm going to allow it with me. Great guy. We got to meet the bar manager for Jolly Pumpkin, who's in the process of opening his own cidery.
Brian,
another damn Brian. So yeah, no, we got to meet some great people. We had a good time. Hopefully those will be some shows in September, October. Be really good. So I can't find the time. I'm looking for it.
I just searched State Fair in my email.
Okay. All right, we'll go with it. 4:30.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Michigan Homebrew Festival.
Do we want to set the stage first?
Yeah.
Like it's Friday. What part of the there's so many parts to the festival. I guess where do you set the stage at?
1945.
So Jason and I got there Wednesday night, and I think we were one of maybe 10 people there the entire day, and one of only 6 there to stay that night, maybe, something like that. It was very chill. If you are a club that's looking to come and set up your stuff at MHF next year, or you're already there and listening, I highly recommend getting there on Wednesday to set up. It's just it's just a very nice, chill, relaxing, like no pressure, get your stuff done, play some music, like don't have to deal with anybody else, sort of atmosphere. And we got probably 80% of our bar set up that night, aside from all the kegs and stuff like that, I think, right?
Yeah, it was good to be able to do that with less stress and time crunch. It's hauling all that stuff out there and setting it up and trying to be a tap mechanic on 35 taps and haul all these kegs around and especially with equipment that we didn't really know, it tends to I can be a jerk, and I apologize sometimes for being kind of an asshole when I'm standing behind trying to load kegs in and being like, just update the goddamn list, Brian. But no, I mean, tonight or this year it was cool to get in there a day early, set it up. We helped some other clubs set up tents. I actually thought we were gonna be able to go to bed Thursday night sober and get a good night's sleep.
Wednesday or Thursday?
Or Wednesday night. Because it was just the 6 of us. But then Lee McBain from Sons of Liberty broke out a picnic tap. We started at 10:30 at night, working our way through kegs, sampling, and
then Kevin's,
and then Lee McBain. Or I'm sorry, God damn it, no, it wasn't Lee, it was Jeff. God, fucking Jeff Burkhart. Sorry, Jeff. Jeff Burkhart broke out the picnic tap and sent us to bed with a nice little buzz. So yeah, it was super chill.
So I'm trying to set a picture of like what MHF looks like if you've never been there. So imagine a dirt path.
Oh,
All right.
and yeah, I know. No, just imagine a giant plot of dirt, and there's a bunch of drunk guys sweating, farting, and you have 100 taps, and you wander around and drink. Doesn't that sound great? Like, isn't that the most amazing thing like you've ever heard of? Like, doesn't everybody want to come now? No.
It is absolutely the most amazing.
I feel like I heard somebody describe it this way, and I think it made sense to me. Is like, it's kind of like a rock concert where the band never shows up. Like,
Who
or
said
like
that? That's amazing.
A rock festival, like where the band never shows up. Like, because you're kind of partying. There's like a crowd, people are talking, hanging out, and like it's like, but it's just like that the whole way, like in a good way. So I don't know.
yeah.
I think that's a good way of describing it.
Camping and beer. I hate camping.
Yeah.
But the beer and the getting to hang out with everyone, that makes it worth it. So
Like Woodstock without the bands, I guess, or something,
So a lot of things have their own, or a lot of clubs have their own, themes this year. Every club has a sort of spot in this fort carved out for them, where they set up, canopies and their taps, and most places will have some sort of seating, some sort of bar, lighting and stuff like that. And so it really is like you're walking around from like a legit bar to a legit bar, except it's all outside, and nothing's more than 500 steps away from anything else. And a lot of clubs have like themes going on. Oh, what were you going to say, Jason? I'm sorry.
No, I mean, it's just a really cool beer garden. It's there's, like you said, there's taps everywhere. This year we had 18 clubs, if you count the Mead Mountains as a separate club, which they rock, so I will.
Mm-hmm.
We had 18 clubs. We had this private campground to ourselves. Each club has, I think that the lowest taps the club had was 3, and then of course the highest was us with 35. So I mean, if you average that out, somewhere in the middle, it was probably 10 to 15 taps per club is the average. So you've got 180, to 200 taps basically of beer. Everybody's a home brewer. Everybody's, put their heart and soul into this craft and made this special thing to bring and share. So it's not just like, you're at a beer festival where you're just slamming, Pliny and 43 and, whatever they manufactured. This is usually there's a story behind it, or there's somebody there to tell you about what they went through to make this, special IPA or whatever. And so it's just fucking cool.
It's there's a lot of like there's a lot of support out there too, right? And I don't mean this in like drunk guys just like slapping each other on the back or something like that. It was like a family event in a lot of ways for significant others. Like a lot of people brought their husband or wife out this year more than in previous years, I think, which was like amazing to see. And like I feel like everybody's significant other always has some sort of investment, in the other person's hobby, or maybe they're both into the hobby, and they're supporting each other. And it's just a bunch of like cheering and good jobs, and people talking each other up. There's nothing negative happen the entire weekend. It's just like good vibes the entire time. It's a very positive, like cool, supportive place for people with a singular hobby, which is making alcohol.
and you get to come out. If you're a home brewer, you should definitely try to come out. You can come out for a day, but day tripping is really lame because you meet so many cool people and there's so much great beer there that you don't want to leave. But if you're a home brewer in Michigan, this is the third weekend in August every year. My thing at my club is, I think I used to, before COVID, it's like every meeting I would go and be like, it's 11 months until the home brew fest. And every month I was counting it down. And I think that's what, if you're a home brewer, you got to come check it out. It's not a crazy drunk fest festival that happens. You know,
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
You know, if you were watching Michigan Brews at 2 a.m. one night, I probably might have went live and I deleted that shit. It's gone. But it's just good people. We have a lot of good guys come out, hang out at our club. I'm surfing other people's Facebook pages because once again I didn't
Looking for
take
pictures.
any pictures.
Yeah,
So I'm
I was
gonna
really
share
bad about that
my
too.
screen a little bit. So other people.
We also had a hot sauce bar.
I don't want to do that.
That was kind of cool thing to do.
Yeah, you know, like every club. So that was something I was going to talk about. You know, like it's not just beer, right? So we do all kinds of competitions. There's a French toast competition. There's barbecue competition. There's Bloody Mary bar. There's there's all kinds of fun things to clubs do. And one of the things we do is Friday night is club night, and so each night kind of has a theme. You know, Friday night is club night. Saturday night is supposed to be, you know, for the public. But Friday night is club night, and club night we do what's called Feast of Friday. So all of the clubs get together, and it's like a potluck. Well, because of COVID this year, it didn't make sense to just pile a bunch of food out on a table and let people, you know, go maw on it. While we were all, you know, together in this campground, we did try to stay as socially distanced and responsible as we could. So what we did is we had each of the clubs set up food at each of their sites, and they were serving their food, you know. So like in Keepers, Patrick Young made this amazing pork roast. He did Korean barbecue tacos or lettuce wraps. Those were awesome.
I didn't even go anywhere else. Like his food was just so good.
I didn't either.
You know, we had fried rice. We had all kinds of stuff. Other clubs are doing. There was one day there was like Jambalaya at one club. Pontiac Brewing Tribe had like this Hawaiian theme thing going on. That was fucking amazing. So yeah, it's just good. Like, I don't want to say family friendly event because honestly, you don't want to bring your kids to a festival with, you know, where the prime focus is beer. But it's just a very, you know, friendly, focused group. Very good community. The Michigan brewing community is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody you talk to, you can go and find out, you know, what they did. If you try an amazing beer there, they're going to tell you how they made it. You know, share the recipe with you. One year, I remember one of the clubs used to post their recipes. So Kraft used to do that on some of their recipes. They had like a QR thing or a thing you could scan and get their recipes. But I mean, it's just open communal sharing of homebrew and enjoying, you know, this amazing beverage that we all love to make. So I can't speak highly enough of it. And I'm also having trouble sharing my screen and only sharing one damn window. Okay,
yeah, you can't. So one thing I've started doing is I just before the show I created another virtual desktop.
I got it.
Yeah, and just stream from there. Hey, nice.
So like, this is a picture of the Keepers Craft Club. This is the front of us. Our bar is way in the back. So there's these structures. You know, so we're hanging out. KGB has a little mobile kombucha bar that they came around and this is actually during the award ceremony. So there's a picture of our bar. People enjoy beer at our bar. Wickland in the back serving. And let's see. This is Grey Cat New Brewing, a brewing club that joined this year. This was their first year, and they only got to do. They were day trippers for a club. They set up, and I think they had 5 or 6 beers on tap. I can't remember. Yeah. So that was really cool. Good to see new blood. And then there we were setting up to live stream the Michigan Homebrew Festival or Michigan Beer Cup Awards. And so you can just see in the structure, you know, each one of these little tents or, you know, or awnings or structures you see as a club bar, you know, and it's different clubs. And you had a guy from Ann Arbor Brewers Guild was set up here in the middle, brewing a traditional. All right, Drew, I'll show that. So at the end of festival, somebody got together. This is, I think, the second year there's been a chair sculpture.
It's got to be the third because there was one the last time I went before this, which was 2 times ago.
That's
so
awesome.
I think it's a 3-peat deal.
But yeah, I mean, we just the clubs they typically have a theme. They try to have a party. It's a very much a party mentality. I actually think that the music festival where the band never shows up is probably
that's so good. Yeah. There's one award called the Dead Grass Award, where essentially clubs compete to kind of have the most people like over in their area. Basically just whether they have the coolest theme or, sometimes the best beer or, whatever. And Motor City Mashers won this year, rightfully so. They actually brought out a whole setup to run Jeopardy, like beer and homebrew related Jeopardy. I don't know if Jason's trying to find a picture of it right now, but so somebody rigged up a bunch of either like Arduinos or Raspberry Pis in this array, of 3 boxes with buttons, and they had somebody running a Jeopardy app, probably from some website. It had like a ton of randomized like beer and homebrewing questions, and the person that hit the button first after the timer was cleared, got to answer and stuff like that. Excuse me.
Yeah, so they had
you can see it in the background there. Yeah.
Yep, you got to pick it out. They had a guy dressed up as Alex Trebek. I'm going through their pictures really quick. He was wearing a suit the entire time. It was 100 degrees at Homebrew Festival. And the dude's wearing a suit. I'm just scrolling through random pictures, but their club was awesome. That's their site. They have this awning. Motor City Mash, I actually think that's their president. We're actually going to have them on the show one of these days. There's their tap list. So they had 13 beers. So food, so much food. All right. Yeah. So they did the Jeopardy event. Not too many themes this year because of COVID. In the past, there's been more themes, but they had Jeopardy, and Pontiac Brewers had the Hawaiian theme, luau. Everybody's getting laid, of course.
Our theme was just good beer,
Good beer and hot sauce.
That's our theme every year. Yeah, the hot sauce was a big hit. So especially on Saturday morning when the Bloody Mary bar opened up, everybody got their Bloody Marys. And then stumbled their way on over to our bar, and then dosed to their heart's content, I guess.
I actually, too, during the Feast of Friday when everybody was eating, I tended to see a lot of people drifting over. They'd get food at other clubs and then come over and try hot sauces at ours. We
had a lot of clubs just randomly drop stuff off on our bar too. I had to sit it up at my bar, but nobody was eating it. So I see that you guys have all this, so I'm just going to set this over here. And
I actually have. I think I have 6 bottles of hot sauce that nobody claimed at the end. No, that nobody claimed. They brought them to our bar. There's a rubber band around them, to mark that whose they were, and then they left them. So if anybody wants to reach out, I did take care of your hot sauce. I still have it. If you rubber banded your bottles.
Ooh, how about those carbonated grapes? Something I never had before.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You missed the carbonated grapes.
I missed those.
Or no, somebody did that. Kevin was bringing them around. I don't know if he made them or if he was just passing them out, but somebody had these carbonated grapes that were it just made them slightly more sharp, but they were great.
I'm laughing because I'm positive Jason gave me a few of them to try.
So it was Paul Phipps from Livingston Social Club. He showed up with a 2-gallon keg of carbonated grapes, and I was surprised at how many people had never heard about that. Especially being homebrewers or keggers that we all have carbonation and CO2. But yeah, you basically fill a keg with fruit and carbonate the hell out of it. If it's got water in it, it'll carbonate. Yeah. Grapes are great because they're self-contained and they get fizzy. Watermelon works really good. I did it with strawberries once, and that did not. Strawberries broke down. They're too delicate.
I want carbonated black currant.
There you go.
Oh my god, that sounds so good.
It might be too little though. I don't know. Homebrewers with if you have a keg, and you have CO2, put your fruit in the keg, charge the fuck out of it, 50 pounds, put it in your keezer overnight. It makes amazing fruit. You can even pour some like white grape juice over the fruit, and then you get like sparkling white grape juice fruit cocktail. I don't know. It's the best thing you can do with a keg that doesn't involve alcohol. So
Yeah.
It was good.
Cold brew coffee. We did that. That's non-alcoholic.
it wasn't as big a hit this year because we had so many kegs and so many taps that we ran out of connectors. So the first day, I couldn't tap the coffee because we didn't have the connectors. The second day, somebody showed up, brought connectors, and we did get it tapped, but it brought a lot of it home. So, which is okay. It was a smaller, lighter festival this year anyway.
Did you dump it or you still have it?
It's in the garage. I still haven't even unpacked the trailer. David texted me today and said, "Have you unpacked from Homebrew Fest yet?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, not really."
I think 2 years ago you still had like 15 kegs sitting in your garage that had just beer in them for like like the entire year basically.
I that year I'd loaned out a bunch of kegs, so they were my kegs that people had put beer in, and we've never really been good about marking our kegs. And I tried to say that at the meeting before Homebrew Fest. I was like, mark your kegs. And but that year, like, kegs came back, they weren't really marked, they just sat in my garage. And I was like, someday I'll get around to trying them, and someday it turned into a year and a half because of COVID. I found one of Brandon. I remember we talked about, we had your New Zealand pills. I found a keg of that, and like 8 months later, it was still delicious. I actually put it in my keezer and drank most of it. But then right before Homebrew Fest, I think Brian and I went, well, earlier this summer, you and I went through and tried a lot of them.
Oh, I forgot about that. We did.
And
did we find like I think we found like Ron's cookie beer, meat beer or something, didn't we? Wasn't that one of the kegs? Yeah, like the kielbasa.
That'd be a surprise, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if we tried like the kielbasa beer just because 8 months out in the heat for something that had meat in it didn't sound safe.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Well, it seems like people can reach out if they're missing a keg, right? I mean, that's not on you, Jason. I don't think so.
Well, no, those are actually my kegs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think at that time I had loaned out kegs for people to fill. Like Brandon, you filled my keg, I think, at that time.
Yeah, last year I think I ended up using your kegs because mine were full and I didn't have a bunch of extras.
Yeah, so they were my kegs. They just
gotcha.
I just didn't.
2019.
This year, I do have other people's kegs in my garage, and I'm going to work on. We have a homebrew club meeting in a couple of weeks, and I'll get everybody their shit back.
If you don't, turn it into hand sanitizer, man.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's all you got to do.
It's illegal. It's illegal to distill. Come on now.
Not for hand sanitizer.
Tractor fuel. Yeah.
Hand sanitizer saves lives, bro.
There was a TikTok, Brian, I shared with each other a while back. It was the hyper-focused new hobby thing. I don't need a new hobby. I every time I think of that now, I'm going to do that.
There were different times, though. I think like distilleries around here and stuff have taken excess stuff to literally make hand sanitizer, though. So you never know.
All right, so I'm going to call this out real quick because I just thought of it. I'm drinking Greg Tupper's Mexican lager with black lime for the Bell's Homebrew competition, and
we're all in trouble.
Yeah. The dude knows
I'm okay with that. That's good. That's awesome.
Fest, he was. I think that his Munich Helles was another keg that kicked.
I remember drinking a lot of that.
Yeah, that was good. That was really good.
So, not Keeper's beer or mead or cider. What were some standout things? What is a beer or cider or beverage that you tried at another club that that put you down. They were
Well,
like, this is good shit.
we have to call out the Gang Brew Challenge winner,
We do.
who was the Michigan Mead Coalition this year, with for the life of me, I can't remember what was in it.
Wasn't it like
Strawberry basil.
Strawberry
rhubarb,
basil.
Strawberry
Rhubarb.
basil,
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's it.
Yeah.
Everything that they had on, from the members, like the homebrewers, was just killer this year. Just really everything, literally everything up there that they had was gold this year. So well deserved on that too. I think I think that they ended up starting that mead a month before MHF as well. So I think that's a good goes to show that with the right nutrients and fermentation, schedule, temperature, all that stuff, you can turn around like an excellent mead in weeks, not necessarily months or years or anything like that. And yeah, it was really good. Man, what else? I'm trying to think if there was something like crazy. There was a Concord grape cider, I think, that KGB had on that I really liked. That thing was pretty good. Pretty much everything I had from Motor City was great. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the mead slushies, man, especially when it's like 100 degrees outside. Like those, I mean, they're dangerous because they're delicious. But
so the mead mamas on Friday, I think they spun up these slushy machines, and I think they had sangria slushies going on Friday, and then on Saturday they switched over to mead. And I think maybe, I can't remember if it was Saturday or Friday, but they had like coffee slushies going on as well. I'm not sure if it was like a coffee mead or if it was actually like, cold coffee or something like that, but they sweetened it up with whipped cream and caramel and stuff like that, to try to cut like the little bit of like the harshness or tartness that the, just cold brew or whatever kind of had on its own. And those were like super interesting.
Brandon, do you have anything stand out?
There's a really good Czech pale lager at the Hawaiian themed bar there that was good. That stood out. The mead especially, I will say, I did spend a good time trying different meads at the Michigan Mead Coalition. But yeah, I think some of those that Czech pale lager really stood out to me as being really tasty. I also liked the bottle share was fun. Throw on another thing like that we did there too, even though that was not all homebrew. Some people had homebrew, some people had commercial beers.
Mm-hmm.
There were some really interesting stuff there. Like someone had some, it might have been more like a liqueur, but like a lemon liqueur that I really liked. There was like some mead that one of the guys there, I remember his name being Pax, because that's Roman for peace. Talking to him, I really liked the stuff that he brought. So like that was another thing that stood out to me. Anyways, yeah, those are some of the things that I think I remember the most.
What about you, Drew?
Well, I mentioned the mead slushies.
That's
always
right,
a big fan of those.
Right.
But I was one of the guys that went around and judged the gang beers, and it was I was real impressed with overall. Like, we've had some years where gang beers maybe had a mix of ingredients and stuff people had to work with, and you're like, I don't know what they did there, but no, like everything was real palatable this year. Like, sometimes you're looking for volunteers to go judge the gang beers. And I really didn't mind it. Like they all were pretty good. And then of course the mead coalition with the strawberry rhubarb basil was the standout. But I mean, there were some good ones in the mix. So
I think one of my favorites was, and I was trying to look up his name. There, it's over at Snobs, which stands for Society of North Oakland Brewers. The other Brit at the festival, his name's Mark. I can't find him. I can't remember his last name. but he did a cider.
Yeah.
It was called Free that he told me the story about. That was amazing.
Just leftover apples that he got from somebody, basically.
Yeah. And then he had some other ones there. I mean, I think I sat there and drank everything that he put on. He had this tangerine pale that was awesome, and I wish I had taken pictures and learned more from it. But hanging out with him, talking to snobs was awesome. Mm-hmm. Great beers. Really good guy, yeah. So they had a lake water porter. I don't think I tried that. That's Tim saying if that was snobs, yeah. This is the 1 year I think that I in past years I think I tried to try everything, and this year I was a little bit more focused on like I just kept drinking the same shit over and over again. So
I kind of felt picky this year too.
Yeah.
Well, we went around and did the tap 1, tap 2, tap 3 stuff deep into the night.
So that's so explain how that goes.
You get really drunk. I mean, sorry.
I don't know. Somebody who's already had plenty, and usually Jason, decides, hey, let's go try every beer on tap 1 at every bar around here. And then, like, sometimes you make it to tap 2 or tap 3, but you slowly are losing people. And you're like, hey, how come there's only like 2 or 3 people here now?
If you do it right, you're picking up people. Damn it. So
yeah, maybe.
That might have been. I think I went live and I was streaming, and we did a full revolution of the tap 1s, and I was. I just remember screaming a lot, and I was filming. I woke up in the morning, and I'm like, good Lord, what did I do? And I went on Facebook, and I deleted the video. But I'm like, oh, my throat's sore, and I'm like, what the hell? And it was because, I was like screaming, like, yeah, Michigan Brews, and let's go tap 1. And yeah, I think we had probably, well, in my mind at the time, I would say we had like 200 people with us at that last tap, but it was probably 10 or 12.
I think I was on the tap 2 circuit,
Tap 2
and
circuit.
Somehow every beer on tap 2 was like over 9%.
It was.
I'm like, what the hell? Are you guys trying to kill me? Like, I did not finish every beer on that circuit, thankfully. But wow.
What, were you there the night we ended up down at Motor City Mashers and Flip Cup was going on? It was dark, and somebody kept bringing out Solid Gold, I think.
Yes.
Just can't, like, there were unlimited cans of Solid Gold just like coming out of nowhere.
Yep.
And I don't know if that was like in the middle of the tap 2 like thing, or if we just like wandered all the way down there. I don't know. Jason, you went to bed. You went to bed, and I think we tried to do tap 2 that night. So maybe
I was down there for the Solid Gold Flippy Cup.
Yeah, I think it was before that happened before tap 2 circuit.
Okay.
But,
And then I went to bed because I am not a Flippy Cup guy, and for some reason that night I was just killing it, and I was like one shot every time. And I actually have a friend that was there that I used to play. I played Flippy Cup at his house once, and I was like an hour later, everybody's sleeping, and I'm still trying to flip the damn cup, and I can't get it. And this time I was like fucking slamming them. But yeah, then I think I got excited and crashed. So, but yeah, man, it's just such a great time.
All the stories come out like 2-3 days later,
So I want to circle back to something because it just popped up in my email. Reread your email from Michigan State Fair, Brian. The festival or the awards ceremony opens at 4:30, and the awards will start at 5:30.
You're the man. Yep. Okay.
So we will post the award ceremony as of 5. They're going to take place 5:30 because Facebook is nippy with us. If they're not ready, we'll go live and just sit there and chat.
There it is. Tentative schedule for 5:30. You son of a bitch. Okay.
God damn it. What else? So we talked about the best beers, new clubs, 18 clubs. That gives, I know we broke in early and talked about the best homebrew club in Michigan, Keeper's Craft. But there's a couple others of these awards that go out. There's best beer, best of show beer went to, and actually best of show beer and best of show cider and mead both went to members of KGB.
Mm-hmm.
So let's give them some shout out, some love. So best of show beer went to, I'm gonna fuck your name up, but Brian Gillibolt, whatever. Brian, forgive me. Anyway, he brewed a barrel-aged Belgian dark strong ale and took best of show beer. And then our friend Michelle Matt, also from KGB and Michigan Mead Coalition, took best of show for cider and mead for her elderflower Thai basil cider, which I did not get to try.
I didn't either. And I'm so sad about that. I think I heard her tell the story of it though, and I'm gonna fuck up which one of these ingredients she used first, but it was originally either going to be an elderflower or Thai basil cider, and then the flavor was just, there's something like off about it that needed to be like corrected a little bit, and she added whichever other ingredient to that, and it just turned into this like magical concoction that was obviously like super amazing. Like obviously it took gold too. Only the gold medal winning beers and ciders and meats and stuff went on to be considered for best of show. But I don't know. I think that goes to show like you don't. I don't know. I really like that. I do that for like my sours and stuff too, and I'm starting to try to like figure out how to do that for other things. But like you aren't stuck with the thing that you brew, right? Like you have like multiple ways to correct or alter something after it's done. You can change the acidity and pH and tannin, of stuff for like mead and ciders and stuff like that. Or, beer, we have like hop terpenes coming out now. You can do like, 0.05 milliliters of like a hop terpene and add just a little bit of like aroma to it. All these crazy things. Blending is obviously really huge for anything. I think it's a sign that you kind of really know what you're doing when you're able to like adjust after the fact and know like just a little bit something's missing. So yeah, good on that.
Yeah, blending and adjusting. It's even if it's in the keg. Like I've even recently had a beer that I wasn't happy with because I thought it had some kind of off flavor, and pinged Brian and wound up doing some research and found out there's things that you can do. I had one with a sulfur odor, and it's like, wow, you read up and learn you can treat it with a copper wire, and it really works. But
for certain kinds of sulfur, I think
for certain kinds,
yeah.
But no, just the blending. I got to go through, like with you and I went through 10 kegs in your basement to taste all these various different sours, and half of them are kind of funky and weird, but blended together, I'm sure is going to make some pretty goddamn amazing beer. So I'm actually excited to start ramping up my sour program too, now that I'm in a barrel. And I don't think we've talked. We're going to talk about this as a club, but a sneak peek. I had a conversation with Keith Manchester from Craft, and Keith posted it to the Michigan Homebrew Club President's page, but I totally forgot about it. I got drunk, was sitting there talking to Keith, and he talked about, wouldn't it be cool if we did this like traveling club Solera barrel? And I was like, and like, because we want to travel and we want to share it with other clubs, it has to be small. And I'm like, well, I've got this 15-gallon barrel in my garage I'm not using. Like, let's do it. And so the thought would be, it is only 15 gallons. So either we do smaller batches to bring more people in or whatever, but we'll figure out the details. But basically some keepers are going to get together and we're gonna sour this barrel, and we're gonna put our beer in it. And we'll get probably a couple pulls out of it before Homebrew Fest next year, and we'll take some of that beer to Homebrew Fest to put it on tap, and we're going to take that barrel and we're going to bequeath that barrel to the next club, and we'll leave the dregs in it. We'll leave 3 or 4 gallons in there, and we'll give that to the next club, say Craft, and Craft's going to take that, and they're going to pitch their wort in there and bring their club together and do their pull and refill. And they're going to bring it back the next year to MHF. And of course, we'll do something to the barrel. We'll engrave it, or we'll burn it, or something to put our mark on it. And the next club will take it. They'll bring the beer back the next year, and they'll bequeath it to the next club. And so really excited to be part of that. That's going to be a new, Homebrew Fest tradition that we're going to start. And I'm glad that Keeper's going to get that kicked off next year. They don't know that yet, but hey, guys.
Woo!
All right.
Awesome.
That shit's so fun to me. I don't know. I love. It's just like it's the community aspect, of homebrewing and stuff that like gives me like the tinglies. I don't know. I don't know. I just love that shit. That's so cool. I'm really excited about that.
It's a cool idea.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll get some keepers in it, even if we have to do small batches or whatever. I'll as many people as we can, and we'll rotate through it. With a year to go, we can probably load it, pull, and then load another batch and pull right
Drew,
before.
Our barrel.
Yeah,
You just mentioned it in chat, dude.
yeah.
Man.
I was like, if you need a culture or whatever, like, I don't know.
Well,
I would even donate the barrel because
exactly. We're not doing anything with that barrel, so we could even like donate both, and like the club brings them and has to bring like a blend or something. I don't know.
Whatever. How big is it?
It's a 15
gallons.
as well.
It's a 15. Yeah. Then no, I don't care. Yours or mine.
It's already
If you got one that's
inoculated. It's making good beer.
I made a little stand for it, and it's got a little insulated cube you can put on it to keep it warm or whatever.
If you're good with
I'd donate the whole thing.
All right.
Yep.
Then there we go. We've got the keeper's barrel. So you guys need to drain it. We'll get some of the keepers involved to donate to it. And then Keith is probably not watching, but I'll reach out and we'll talk about it at the meeting in a couple of weeks. But yeah, we'll kick this off. Let's figure out, start thinking about ways that we could decorate the barrel with, our information.
Because I'm not doing the sour thing starting out, so I'm kind of looking for a home for it anyway. So,
God damn it, Keith!
Oh,
So
there
we
you
got
go.
your barrel. So no, I'm excited about that. We'll get a barrel going and take it to Homebrew Fest next year. So,
Jordan's technically part owner of that barrel too, but I'm sure he'll be he'll be
your barrel or my barrel. I don't give a shit, man.
We'll figure it out. Really, we should have pulled there's actually beer in that barrel right now that Drew, Jordan, and I have, and we should have pulled it like 3 months ago, 6 months ago. What I don't know.
It was pre-COVID, I'm pretty sure. So it's been in there a while.
We took a tasting out of it a couple months ago, and it was probably some of the best sour that's come out of that barrel so far.
Yeah.
It was excellent. The Flanders Red that I blended 1 gallon into for my NHC beer came out of that barrel. And that took silver in NHC this year. It took second best to show in Dominion Cup this year. So it's got some good dregs in it for sure. Delicious stuff.
The unfiltered, the raw form, if you will, made an appearance at the Homebrew Festival as Tart to the Shart.
That's what it was. Oh, I forgot about that.
And I'd say like 2/3 of the keg probably got drank there. Like
by one person, probably.
By one guy. There was one guy that was like,
I love this. Yeah.
Digging that, dude. He would come up and be like, full glass. So he was like,
that was the guy with like the shaved head.
Yeah. He was digging that.
Yeah.
My second favorite person.
Sour Eric.
Sour Eric. Yeah.
There was this lady. I think she was a day tripper. I wish I knew who she was because she was amazing. She would come up to our bar and she would get Brian's pineapple upside down cider, and she literally had a bottle of hot sauce in her hand from our bar. And I forget the hot sauce. It was the super hot. It was like a scorpion or something hotter. And she was like taking a finger of the hot sauce and licking it and then drinking the cider. And I'm like, ma'am, I'm happy to mix that in there, put some in and pour the cider. Like if you're trying to kick up the heat of the cider. And she was like, no, I just like it. I like it when it mingles on my tongue. I'm like, you do you. You know what? You're awesome. And she probably killed half a bottle of like super hot sauce with Brian's pineapple cider. She was awesome.
Oh my God.
Great.
You do you, I guess, right?
Mhm. That's one thing that we didn't really have a lot of this year, and I've seen that before, is blending. With 35 taps, we probably could have gone into, like playing with some blending and stuff like that. And maybe that's even something that we think about for next year because, we could probably make some like really cool like beer blends right off the tap. Like,
I might have been a dick at one point when people would come up and be like, I don't know. And I would just feel like, here you go. Dude, it's like midnight, and everybody's drinking and they can't decide because we have too many taps. And I get it. And I'm sorry. So I might have suicided a couple of people.
What was the story with? I remember David telling us a story. Somebody brought him something because of his beer. If David put it in chat because I know you mentioned it, but I don't remember what it was. And then Brian took a bronze this year.
He did. That's right. Brian from
one of his
Homebrew
beers.
Supply.
Yeah, and we tapped the beer that we made from his kit too this year, and people really enjoyed it.
We had Ghost in the Fog on tap at Homebrew Fest. That was awesome. I think one of only 2 or 3. There were 2 or 3 gluten-free beers available. I mean, of course, there's ciders and meads and stuff like that, but yeah.
Well, somebody came up, I think, on Thursday and specifically asked if we had anything gluten-free on, and we were like, "Just so happens." It was like really cool and coincidental and stuff. And granted, we try to keep the lines as clean as we can, so we can't promise it's truly gluten-free because of what might have gone through the lines or something, but we're really fucking close.
That's right. Okay, so David's story, there was on Thursday night there was a beer dinner where Kevin Penn and Pat Hyde, like Kevin's a professional chef, Pat Hyde's a wannabe but a really good cook. They went off head to head, 4 plates each, Brian, or 3?
3
plates each.
3.
Yeah, something like that.
6 tickets, yeah.
Yeah, so they went head to head, and then the people that bought into the dinner got to vote on who was the better cook. And Kevin Penn made this chickpea curry dumpling with this sauce. It was amazing. It really was fucking awesome. And I remember that now. Some lady actually, like from the lodge all the way to the back to the fort where our bar was, which is quite a ways. This lady brought this dish of curry, vegetarian or vegan curry, because David's a veg.
That's right.
Brought it to him because she loved his pepper
blonde.
His pepper
DJ
blonde.
Fuckboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
which also was popular with the hot sauce bar we had.
We were using that to like cool down people's palates, honestly, because it was like it was good shit.
Sorry, my wireless just died. No, we were. It was. Well, he based it off of One Well's jalapa, which is done with heatless jalapenos, and so he was going for, I think, a milder beer. He didn't get the heatless jalapenos, But it wasn't super hot. It wasn't even hot at all. So
You honestly could have fooled me. Like it tasted like a heatless, jalapeno beer.
don't tell me you're not the lady that brought him. No.
That's my sister.
Oh, okay. Oh, Dawson,
But
I just read Punk, dude.
we got talking about wrestling the other night, and I was talking about how David Jones is like the biggest wrestling fan I know, and it
Oh my
it's
god!
just funny because they have like a ton in common. That's why she's making that joke. But sometime you got to come out to a homebrew meeting or something, Erica, and you can meet David.
So Lee says we started blending. They had a blueberry cream with a lemon shandy mead. I don't remember that, but I'm fucking bummed now that I did not.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
A lemon blueberry scone.
That sounds so good.
I can see that. I remember the lemon shandy mead. That was good. Yeah.
So ultimately, man, Michigan Homebrew Fest is the best goddamn time of the year. It really is good Christmas. It's my favorite thing to do every year. Third weekend of August, back again next year. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna. So this year, and we haven't even called it out really. We merged Keepers of Craft merged with Livingston Social Brew Brew Crew because their members unfortunately couldn't make it, but they have the other 19 taps that we used. So they were cool enough to bring their system out so that we could use their taps, and then they had some of their beer on, and they let us kind of take over their space. And we talked about doing something again in the future and doing that again. I mean, we're really good. We're really close with them. Kevin and Paul are good friends of Keepers, but hopefully, I'm really hopeful that they can have their members come back and have their actual own site. So we may not have 35 taps and Keepers next year, but we'll bring it.
We're gonna have 40.
Maybe we will. Maybe we'll make some stuff.
Just do it.
During the winter or something.
I brought a 6-way distributor that didn't get used, so
that's not the thing, man. Honestly, it's if people want to donate faucets. If anybody in the Kalamazoo area knows,
that's a good point.
That has faucets that they would like to donate. That's the long pole in the tent. I'm happy to pick up shanks and equipment, and we'll figure out a fucking system to plug them into. But faucets, even cheap faucets, at like $30 a piece is kind of tough for a homebrew club. So, I'm excited. I'm excited for Friday too, and Michigan State Fair. Now that we've proven Brian wrong, 5:30, Michigan Brews will be streaming the Michigan State Fair's homebrew competition award ceremony, where last year a keeper took Best in Show, Adam Cagle, with his wit beer.
Who was at least in chat a little bit ago.
He was.
He says he's not missing MHF next year. So
and this year, I don't know, man. I'm feeling it, Brian. I saw Brian's score sheets, and I think Brian's tech pills is on point.
I might be in the running. We'll see. I think it was like 44.5 out of 50, so not bad.
Wow.
But Adam also did really well with his. He's got a European sour.
Goza, right? Yeah, and I tasted it, and it was like it made me like cry, like so on point. So yeah, it was super freaking good.
Brandon, you got medals or I'm sorry, ribbons from the State Fair, right? Coming?
Yeah, I'll definitely get something. I doubt I'll be in the best of show. Like I had some decent beers in there, but I should get something out of it. It'll be fun.
Right on.
I think is that the last big competition that we're in for the year. That's usually what ends it, right? Like competition season, quote unquote.
So just for fairness, I mean, technically it's going to be Bell's Homebrew Competition will close.
Right.
A keeper has won the last 3 years.
3 or 2?
3.
Who's the first
Well,
year?
they
Was it-
didn't do it last year.
Yeah,
right.
see, 3 years. Fuck you. Okay.
Bill,
Keeper
Matt.
has 2 keepers have won. Yeah, it was Matt McQuillan won with Heather's Request, and Bill Blakesley won with his Imperial Coffee Blonde. They're the last 2 winners of the Michigan or the Bell's Homebrew competition. So I think that'll be the one that'll close out this year. I believe O'Connor's.
Oh yeah, I think they're doing it again this year.
O'Connor's
well-
did come out. I don't know if registration's still open for O'Connor's or if they're closed. I'll check in a minute. But O'Connor's would be another one. And then, unless we start reaching out of state, like I know, Brian, you did well in Texas this year. You did well in the Dominion Cup. Same with you, Brandon. Right?
Brennan, yeah.
Yeah, both of you won medals in both competitions, right?
We did. I have some meads out in the Valkyries Cup. So we'll see how that does. It's the first time I've really entered mead into a competition besides the Michigan Beer Cup. So I have no idea. I have zero idea how I'm going to do, but I'm more excited for the feedback this year.
Where's that based out of?
Gosh, I want to. Is that Minnesota?
I think it's.
Okay.
I think Valkyries is Minnesota.
Yeah.
It looks like you can still enter O'Connor's, which I probably have to do right now because I forgot about that.
Yeah, I suppose I will.
Okay.
Which is funny because I was just in Grand Rapids on Friday and I literally stopped there and was going to ask them, but forgot to ask them if it was on. But anyway.
Are you looking in chat?
My only call out to O'Connor's, if anybody knows O'Connor's or anybody's watching the O'Connor's, last year they decided to only award medals to gold. Please don't do that.
2019.
The last year.
Jordan and I took, medals. And Jordan, in fact, I think took second best in show or something. Jordan got extra awards for his pug stout, I think is what it was. Jordan did super well in O'Connor's in 2019. So,
Brian, you got to enter the Mazer Cup, dude. You forgot to mention that.
So Mazer's coming up. I don't know if I'm going to have enough mead left.
Well, you can enter till I think it's like October.
Yeah, there's a bit of time.
16th.
Maybe I did enter that, and I think it's the Michigan Mead Cup or something that I won't have enough mead or left for. I'll have to look and see what I entered. I entered something.
Some of the best feedback I got was from that when I did that last year.
Okay.
Yeah. And everything I entered was super young, but that was kind of what they said about it. It's like, it needs to mellow, but
I lied. Yeah, I did enter the Mazer Cup. So I have 7 entries into the Mazer Cup for this year.
Woo!
Yeah,
nice.
We'll see how I do. Again, it's all about the feedback for me this year. I may have even said this on stream before, but my thought process for this year is, enter the Valkyries Cup, and I guess it's going to be the Mazer's Cup. Because I didn't make enough mead for more competitions than that. Get my feedback, maybe take 2022 off and work on making mead based on that feedback, if it's constructive and if I don't do well, and then start going again in 2023 or something like that. I guess we'll see. It's all, sort of up in the air as to how I do. I think my mead is fine, but I don't know how it is on the judgeable scale. So. And thank you. And that goes for everybody in the upcoming competitions. We have so many people in the club and stuff like that, and Drew and all that. So
I'm just along for the ride this year, basically.
Dude, and anything you make on your homebrew system, you can enter into a competition. Just because you're all big and fancy now doesn't mean you still can't have fun. Although,
fair.
You know what? I will take time. Stop. Shanna says I'm not taking time off, but I may. We'll see.
What do you need time off for?
Shanna says I'm not taking time off for competitions based on my feedback for the mead competitions or something.
See, his primary job, Jason, is brewer, like mead maker, etc.
I'm
Like,
aware.
yeah, okay. I figured you knew, but so when
Drew,
he
for
talks
you
about
though,
time
now
off, that's it. You know.
your entries are instantly like 3 times as much as they are, as a home brewer now. So good luck to you. I think what were the Macer Cup entries for like professional?
Oh, you mean
Like,
in how much
entrance or whatever?
the entry fee
Yeah,
is?
the entry fees. Yeah, it was like $60
Yeah,
for the Glint cap or something, I think is.
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I'm sure you're right.
what, to go from home to pro?
Yeah, like entry fees.
I think they were over 100.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So that's a problem to worry about when you're like need to distribute and things. I feel like, like
That's fair.
if you're like, hey, I'm Bell's and I want to sell beer in Florida or someplace, then maybe that gold medal helps you. But otherwise, it's all word of mouth, I guess.
What if you're Doster Brewing and you get a gold medal and people are like, well, I need to go figure out who the hell this gold medal, winning brewer is because they were featured in like, Beer and Brewing magazine this month or something.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Speaking of,
go ahead.
go on. This is me. This is my one pedestal I'll take tonight. Speaking of magazines, I'm in Zimmergy, this latest issue of Zimmergy, for my
Nice.
NHC beer this month. Just my name, not my recipe or anything like that, but I'm listed there for the wild specialty beer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So it's cool. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
What was I saying? Oh, we were talking about Glencap. So I was at Blake's Hard Cider back in early August, and I walked in the door, Drew, and they had their bottle of cider like sitting on the counter with their little silver medal from 2021, and that's the thing. So I mean, and you can, I think on the pro scale, I think you can get multiple copies of that. So you could, like, wherever you tap your beer, you could be like Doster Brewing gold medal, whatever. So you should do it, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not against that. I got to get to the point where I'm putting beer out the door, though. I mean, that's my focus right now. So, but
not to put you on like the spotlight or whatever, but do you have like a date that you're targeting or anything? Or
I'm really hoping for this fall. I feel like if I gave a number, I'm like 90% there. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm converting my system to electric, so I got an electrician coming to help me kind of finalize that. We put new fittings on all the brewing tanks to put the heating elements and stuff in there, and right now I'm just kind of deep cleaning everything too and passivating everything, but real close. I got my first like pallet of grain last week. I sent some pictures to some of you guys. That was like a big deal for me.
No, that's super cool.
Going from like, oh, I'm just like walking out the door with my little bag of grain versus like, here's 400 pounds of grain. Like,
Sweet.
And you discover that FedEx can make their way down your back trail or whatever. Right?
Yeah. It was real funny because the guy is like, he's like, hey, you mind if I take a whiz out here? Like, like, he's like, I get on these residential routes and it's like, there's nowhere to go to the bathroom or whatever. I was like, yeah, dude, I don't care. Like,
yeah. You're his new
like
favorite
the middle of the
customer,
woods.
honestly. Yeah,
I know.
He's like, I hope you order from me like every day. Yeah.
Pick a number 2. I don't care.
Yeah, right. He gets a little break and relieve himself or whatever. I know they're busy, so. Oh, he was cool.
Right on.
Well, I think that's about all we have to say for MHF. Is that what you're thinking?
So. Yeah,
Even though like half the episode wasn't MHF, but that's all right.
Whatever.
That's kind of that's the theme of our show.
So we're gonna be back on Friday with a special episode to stream the Michigan State Fair Homebrew Competition Award Ceremony. We should be back next week with another episode. We are going to be looking at bringing in a homebrew club sometime in either late September or early October to do another homebrew club episode. It's been a while since we've done that.
We have another homebrew review probably sometime soon.
Started collecting stuff for a homebrew review. As always, if you are a homebrewer and you want us to review your shit, we need 3 bottles of your beer, and you can reach out to any one of us. We'll figure out a way to get it from you. So if you want us to drink your beer on air and talk about it, I know I drank all of Greg's, and I've called Greg out a couple of times. So I drank 3 bottles of Greg's tonight. I didn't have it to share, so we didn't really dive into the details other than it's really good.
Woo.
Greg, I would say the lime one is going to be your winner. The coconut, I don't really get it. So if you call it out, I mean, it's good beer. I just don't get coconut. So that's me and Greg right there. Everybody else can disregard. But yeah, I know we're working on some cool new shows, talking with people. What else, Brian? We've got a couple of breweries that we're kind of going back and forth with.
Yeah, we've been fucking around more with recipe creation episodes. We're gonna brew Sea Gump IPA, and I think potentially for MHF next year, we were joking about making juice, our meat New England IPA. So we might have an episode about that.
Yeah,
juice.
So if you guys haven't watched or don't remember, we did do some recipe creations back in July where we, the people that did our cool intro, they came up with Sea Gump IPA, which is a shrimp-based coconut IPA.
I think we called it a Michigan shrimped IPA.
So we're actually going to get together with the Rosses who came up with that idea. We're going to get together with them sometime in the next month, probably October, early October.
Right, yeah, I think October, yeah.
And then we'll have them on for a tasting episode. But, again, I throw this out every time. If you're a homebrew club and you want to come on the show and talk, hit us up. If you know a brewer or can connect us with somebody, by all means, let us know. That's how we get a lot of our contacts. People hook us up with people they know.
If you've been on the show before and you still want to get on, let us know. It's our show. We can do whatever we want. So we don't
make money off of it, and this is what we do. If you want to have a show where if you want to do Seltzer 3.0 and you just want to get blackout with us,
Drew Jacobs wants to be on again.
Seltzer. Yeah, Drew Jacobs wants.
Hit us up on Patreon. Smash that like button.
No Patreon. Smash the like button. Follow and subscribe, but we don't want your money. No Patreon, none of that shit. Which is
I think you guys should really just see if you can go shot for shot with Drew Jacobs.
Yeah.
On air, of course.
The only issue is, and we don't think we haven't thought about it. So YouTube has these, probably Facebook too, but these and Twitch, these very tight rules in that you can't be doing anything quote unquote dangerous while on air or something, and they kind of make up the rules on what that's considered. So the second you start slurring or acting weird on air, it can be sort of so the Seltzer episode 2.0 might be the most we push that. I don't know. We'll see.
Mega Seltzer.
That last year Jacob's episode was close.
Shout out to KGB.
I still have PTSD about Mega Seltzer.
So Drew, explain what it was real quick before we go.
So KGB had seltzer on tap that was 18% or something. It was
I think it was 16.5.
16.5. And anytime somebody ordered it, everybody erupted in Mega seltzer. And like, so this goes on until like 4 a.m. Who cares?
Yeah.
And whether or not you're trying to get any sleep, is beside the point. But I think the idea was they were going to cut it with stuff, right? And like make like, I don't know, fruity seltzers or
Oh my
something.
God.
They did actually. I mean, they mixed it with. You could get it with Rock and Rye. You could get it with Mountain Dew or Sunny D or something like that, which are all good.
But even then, check this out. Even if it was the way it was supposed to be, 20%, like 50-50,
My God.
it'd still be a 10%. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So, Mega Seltzer. No, we will do another seltzer show because there's just so much cool shit happening with seltzer. And then I actually read today that seltzer's on the decline, which is
I saw the article too.
Super exciting.
It's back down to where it was like 4 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So seltzer shows are usually where Brian and I just pound fizzy alcoholic water and get blackout drunk. So anyway, we'll do a seltzer show. We are working on some, like I said, some cool shows with other breweries, other brew clubs. We're going to do some mead focused shows. We'll hopefully get somebody that's very big in the mead community that'll come on and join us. Actually, Gail said she would at one time, so I'm hoping to get Gail Milburn back on.
Yep.
And then maybe some other guy that does a lot of mead. That's really cool. But I haven't asked him yet, so I don't want to say. You figure it out.
Okay.
And what else? That's it, I think.
Woo!
That's it.
So we'll carry out through the end of the year, and we'll keep doing this because it's fucking fun, and we enjoy hanging out.
It's cool. I finally started getting memories on Facebook about previous episodes that we've done. I'm like, I can't believe it's been that long. That's so crazy. It doesn't feel like it. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's super cool.
Right on. Well, cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.
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 I'm empty.
Das
Cheers.
Boot.